Hey, hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm also fine, thank you. So I got your profile for evaluation and I'm going to evaluate you based on your Java coding skill. Okay, so I have provided you an array. Can you copy it?
Yes, so let me check in the chat. Yeah, I've gotten it. I'll copy it in Eclipse. All right. Yeah, I've copied it in Eclipse.
Now you can see this array contains even numbers as well as odd numbers. What you have to do is you have to bring all the even numbers before odd numbers. So your array should start filling even numbers first and later then you should put odd numbers towards the end of the array.
All right. Okay. So in this case, I can see it's 1, 2, or 5. So yeah, my array should be 2 should come first, then 4, then 7, then 8, and then 20. After that, odd number should start filling. For example, 1, 5, 7, and 11. Correct?
Yes, correct.
All right. So let me try to implement this scenario. I'm going to write a method which is going to be my public. It is going to be a static method. All right. Um, static, and this is going to return void because I need to print the array, and I'm going to name this method as array even and odd. Okay. So array even and odd, and this is going to accept one integer array. So it is integer arr, and I'm going to accept it as a parameter. So the responsibility of this method will be to accept an array and to bring all the even numbers first and then to bring all the odd numbers. So let's try to implement this logic. For implementing this logic, I am going to create one more integer array. So to create that integer array, I'm going to declare one array, and the length of this array will be same as the input array. So this is going to be an array where I'm going to process all the elements. So new integer array, and the length is going to be arr dot length. All right. So I have created one array. Now I'm going to iterate over the input array. So let's try to write that logic. Input integer I equal to 0, I is less than arr dot length. I'm iterating through this arr array. So arr dot length and I plus plus. Okay. So this is my for loop which I'm going to use to iterate, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the element from arr and check if it is even number or odd number. So the first condition is for even, so I'm going to use this loop for even numbers. So if arr of I is my element, mod, so mod 2. So if I do mod and the resultant answer is 0, that specifies this is an even number. So in that case, I'm going to add arr of I into my processing array, which is a. So let me add this to a, and for this I'm going to use one more counter known as index. So integer index equal to 0, and whenever I add an element to this a, I'm going to increment the index. So let me add to the 0th position, a of index is equal to arr of I. So here, in short, what I'm doing, I'm just checking the array and checking the element of the array. If it is divisible by 2, that means it is even number, and I'm adding it to the resultant array. So after doing this, I'm going to increment the index, because whenever I add the next element, it should go to the next position in the array. Okay, so this I'm done for the even number. So this logic will place all the even numbers in the resultant array. Now I have to fill all the odd numbers. So for that, I'm going to copy my for loop. So let me copy my for loop. Before that, I'm going to add comment, add all the even numbers to resultant array. Similarly, I'm going to use this for loop for adding all the odd numbers to the resultant array. I'm going to perform the same operation, and I'm going to reverse the condition. So resultant all the odd numbers. Okay, so I'm going to copy the if condition, and instead of equal to 0, I'm going to make it not equal to 0, because whenever you divide your number by 2 and the output, the remainder is not 0, it means it is your odd number. So I'm going to perform similar thing, where I'm going to add the element to my resultant array, ARR of I, and I'm going to do index plus plus. Okay, so this will add all the odd numbers after the even numbers. So first we are adding all the even numbers to the array, and then we are adding all the odd numbers to the array. So this adding even and odd number is done. Now the next step is to print the array. So I'm going to print for integer I equal to 0, and this time we are going to print the resultant array where we have done the processing. So integer I equal to 0, I is less than a dot length, because a is the array where we placed all the even number first and then the odd numbers, and I plus plus, and my duty is just to sys out system.out.print, and I'm going to print a of I. So this is where I have printed all the elements of I. Let me call this method from the main method, array even and odd, and I'm going to pass arr1 to this method. All right, so I think my logic is ready, where I have added all the even number first and then the odd numbers, and finally I have printed all the numbers from the resultant array. May I run this program?
Yes, you can run it.
Okay, so let me run this program. Run as your Java application. Okay, now you can see 2, 4, 8 and 20 are added first, and then 1, 5, 7 and 11. So